Well, who said Christian dating has to be boring? Or that it has to mimic a morality to be fun? Today, I want to share with you the beautiful story of David and Sarah, two believers who discovered that love can be joyful, adventurous, and deeply rooted in faith. Their journey shows us that Christian dating is not about restrictions, but about living fully with Christ at the center. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 4 to 7. Niv, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps. Always hopes, always perseveres. David, a young believer, creative, loves music, wasn't looking for love in the usual places. He wasn't scrolling endlessly through dating apps, nor was he trying to force connections. One Saturday afternoon, he wandered into a bookstore café, drawn to the Christian literature section. That's where he met Sarah. Sarah was flipping through a devotional on prayer. David noticed her smile, the way she seemed absorbed in the words. He struck up a conversation. "That's one of my favorites. It helped me through a tough season." They talked about authors, testimonies, and their dreams. It wasn't a church pew or a mission trip, it was a simple, everyday encounter. Yet God was in it. God can orchestrate encounters anywhere, not just inside church walls. Sometimes, the most ordinary places become the stage for extraordinary beginnings.
Sarah was not just another face in the fellowship. She was a woman of quiet strength, someone whose faith was woven into the way she lived her everyday life. She loved adventure, hiking trails, exploring art exhibits, trying new foods, but she never lost sight of her values. To her, joy and holiness were not opposites but companions. She had a warm smile that made people feel at ease, and a way of listening that made others feel heard. Friends often said that Sarah carried peace with her, like a gentle fragrance. Sarah believed that dating should reflect the same qualities described in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 4 to 7. Patience, she never rushed into relationships, trusting God's timing. Kindness, she treated everyone with respect, even when she disagreed. Humility, she didn't boast about her faith, but lived it quietly and consistently. Perseverance, she believed love was not about perfection, but about enduring together through challenges. Sarah's life was proof that Christian dating doesn't have to be boring. It can be adventurous, creative, and full of laughter, as long as Christ remains at the center.
David and Sarah didn't rush into romance. They built a friendship first. They joined group hikes with friends, laughed around campfires, and prayed at mountain peaks. On one hike, as they reached the summit, Sarah said, "Isn't it amazing how creation reflects God's glory?" Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Even this view reminds me that his timing is perfect. David admired her faith. He realized that joy and adventure didn't mean compromising values. They could explore life together, art exhibits, music nights, even cooking experiments, while keeping Christ at the center. Christian dating doesn't have to be dull. It can be vibrant, full of laughter, and still holy. Fun activities can honor God when done with pure intentions. But like any relationship, challenges came. David wanted to rush into commitment. He felt strongly that Sarah was the one. Sarah, however, reminded him, "Love is patient, David. Let's not run ahead of God's timing. It is wise we check that we are aligned spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically, and vision-wise." Women, unlike men, often need time to process emotions so as to be sure they are not making romantic decisions from a point of impulse or unprocessed emotions, and Sarah understood this very well. They attended a relationship seminar together, learning about boundaries and communication. They discovered that excitement doesn't mean recklessness. David reflected on 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4. Love is patient, love is kind. He realized that true love waits, listens, and grows. Even in fun, faith requires wisdom. Boundaries aren't barriers, they are guardrails that protect hearts and honor God. Months passed, and their friendship blossomed into a relationship. They planned a road trip to visit historical Christian landmarks. Along the way, they worshipped in the car, shared testimonies, and encouraged each other's dreams. David thought of Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. He realized that finding Sarah wasn't just about romance, it was about God's favor. Their love was joyful, adventurous, and deeply spiritual. They proved that Christian dating could be full of life without losing faith. So, who said Christian dating has to be boring? David and Sarah's story shows us that love can be sweet, surprising, and full of adventure, without mimicking immorality or losing faith. It's about living fully, with Christ at the center of every moment. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verses 4-7. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. David learned that patience is not weakness, it is strength under control. Sarah showed that kindness and boundaries can coexist with joy and adventure. Together, they discovered that faithful love is not about rules, but about freedom in Christ. Freedom to enjoy life without guilt. Freedom to laugh without compromise. Freedom to love without fear. Christian dating doesn't mean sitting quietly in a pew, afraid to smile. It means living fully, with Christ guiding every step. It means hiking mountains and seeing God's glory in creation. It means sharing meals and conversations that build each other up. It means facing challenges with humility and perseverance. And it means finding favor in the Lord when love is rooted in Him. In your dating journey, are you rushing ahead, or are you allowing love to be patient and kind? How can you bring joy and creativity into your dating while keeping God first? What boundaries have helped you honor God in your relationships? Do you see your relationship as a gift of God's favor, or just a human choice? So, my friends, let David and Sarah's journey remind you of this truth. Christian dating is not a dull routine, nor is it a copy of the world's immorality dressed up in faith. It is vibrant, it is joyful, it is adventurous, and when Christ is at the center, it becomes the sweetest story you'll ever live. Think about it. Love that is patient, love that is kind, love that protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. That's not boring, that's powerful. That's the kind of love that builds marriages, families, and legacies that shine for generations. So here's my challenge to you. Don't settle for shallow connections. Don't compromise your values for temporary thrills. Instead, pursue relationships that make you laugh, that make you grow, that make you pray harder, and that make you see God's hand in every detail. Go on hikes, share meals, explore new places, dream together, but let every step be guided by the Word. And if you're single right now, don't lose hope. Remember Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Favor is waiting for you in God's timing. Your story may begin in a bookstore, a coffee shop, a youth fellowship, or even on a hiking trail. Wherever it begins, let it be written by the author of love himself. Now, I want you to do something bold. If this story stirred your heart, drop a comment below and tell us. What does Christian dating look like for you? How are you keeping faith alive while enjoying the adventure of love? Share your testimony, your struggles, your victories, because your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. And don't forget, subscribe to Wisdom for Christian Dating. This is where we break the myth that faith and fun can't coexist. This is where we laugh, learn, and grow together. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next story, the next teaching, the next surprise. Because we're building a community of believers who know that love in Christ is not boring, it's the greatest adventure. So, let's walk this journey together. Let's redefine Christian dating. Let's show the world that holiness and happiness can dance hand in hand. And let's keep reminding ourselves, love that honors God will always be the most beautiful, the most exciting, and the most enduring love of all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share and pray for the growth of the channel. Thank you.